What's up, guys? RuppDat here, or Ruppy, however you want to refer to me. Hey, I can kind of go either way at this point. Um, got a bit of an update video for you guys to just kind of address a few things that have kind of been happening recently, and a couple changes I'm going to be making going forward. Partially for the sake of my own sanity, but mostly just to address some issues that have come up over the past few weeks. The most glaring things that have happened, you've probably noticed, have been I am a few weeks behind on PBAL uploads, and the Pokemon Shield Anti-Dynamax Nuzlocke has kind of almost stopped completely. I did not intend for either of those things to happen, but my hand was kind of forced. I have kind of brought this up in some of my videos over the past few weeks, and I think I've mentioned it in some of the things I've got recorded that are going to be going up later this week. But to kind of, I guess, give the bigger picture, for the past number of weeks now, I've been having quite a few internet issues with seemingly no real explanation as to why. Granted, internet issues have been a frequent problem in this particular house, but never this bad, to the point where my PC was basically completely crippled as far as being able to access the internet. My laptop was able to connect just fine, so I found a way to make that work a bit. That didn't last very long, because within the past 2 weeks, our internet pretty much basically died completely. So that was quite infuriating. I tried my best to make what we did have work to the best of our ability until we were able to get into trying to get that sorted out. And in the process of that happening, my PC basically died. It hit a point where I don't know what was happening with it, but anytime I tried to pretty much open just about any kind of application on this thing to do pretty much anything, it would just crash. No warning, no explanation, nothing. So I took it in. It ended up being factory reset, so I've slowly but surely kind of piecing it back together for the most part as far as what I had on here beforehand. Kind of holding back a bit in case overloading its memory capacity was part of the problem. It's also got a new hard drive put in it, so we are all good to go on that front. So my computer's back. It's functioning perfectly fine. We did get our internet issues resolved as well. Basically what happened there is our modem kind of died. Granted, the thing was 15 years old and way out of date technology-wise anyway for half the stuff we got going through this house. So it was about time we got something much better. I've also managed to sort out a couple of other issues. You've probably noticed by now that the background behind me is a bit different from any other update videos I have done. There's still a bit of a mess to kind of clean up with it, but I basically shuffled some things around in my room to give myself a little more space to work with. I have a brand new desk I'm sitting at right now. I'm kind of located to the opposite end of my room where I was originally near the staircase that leads out of my room, because I live in the basement. That's just how I prefer it. I'm kind of more towards the farther end now. There is a bit of a reverb, I guess, in this part of the room. Probably because the floor beneath me is tile and not carpet like the other half of my room is. I know, that sounds bizarre, but that's just how we've always done things in this house, I guess. But aside from getting some stuff cleaned up, I felt it was time to get a better computer desk anyway, just because it gives me more space to work with, because it is a bigger desk than the one I was using beforehand, which you can actually see behind me. It was one of the things that I ended up shuffling around to make room for this desk. And one of the big problems I think that was a contributing factor to my PC issues, beforehand I had my PC tower kind of just sitting on the floor, which potential for our basement flooding already causing some issues. I'm pretty sure part of the reason this thing had as many issues as it did was because I think a couple fans got completely burned out, because despite my best attempts to keep it clean, keeping this thing on the floor definitely made this thing a dust trap. So with this new desk, I've got it off the floor at least, so that should hopefully work out much better in the long run going forward. So all these changes aside, what does this mean for my channel? Well, Obviously, BBR uploads will be continuing, and IBL uploads will actually be resuming as well this week. I got my draft analysis video. I'm going to be going back to editing it as soon as I get finish getting this up, and ideally, I'm going to have the draft analysis up later today. So, little 2 for the price of 1 for you guys today. The anti-shield or the shield anti-Dynamax Nuzlocke. For the most part, the series is virtually done recorded. I've got a couple episodes I still need to go through recording-wise to see exactly how much farther I'm going to be able to manage to take this. But I'm not going to say how far I am into the game, but I want to say if I keep going at this point, I should... If I mass record today, I might actually be able to wrap things up. Editing-wise, I'm still kind of getting things back in order as far as where my files are at for that. But thankfully, none of those were damaged. So ideally, I'm going to be able to try to get back to uploading the Anti-Dynamax Nuzlocke at some point this week. Optimistically, I want to say tomorrow, but I've got a lot of other things I need to knock out today, so we will see how that plays out. But best case scenario, being more realistic, definitely at some point this week, and hopefully I can get far enough ahead in editing that I'll be able to get through the remainder of that series without far too many more issues or any more holdups, just so we can get it done and move on to other projects. Because I honestly think the more I'm attempting to do all at one time, the more I'm going to struggle. Which leads me to PBAL. I know I'm behind on uploads. My computer issues were wholeheartedly to blame for that. But the more I've thought about it, the more I think I've decided I'm going to drop PBAL from my uploads. Nothing against the league itself, but BBR is upload required. IBL is upload required. PBAL kind of says it's upload required on the Draft League website, but realistically it's actually not necessarily upload required. So, since I don't have to upload for the league, I am making the conscious decision to stop uploading for the league. I apologize for anyone that was interested in seeing the progress of my Lake Erie Curums, but honestly, I think for the sake of my own sanity, if I can keep the number of projects that I don't have to upload and I'm just choosing to work on of my own volition to a minimum, the better off I'm going to be in the long run in terms of not stressing myself out. BBR and IBL alone are already going to be quite a time-consuming project pretty much every weekend to get up at a reasonable time. So trying to finish the Anti-Dynamax Nuzlocke and potentially moving on to other projects, so I've got some diversity on this channel. On top of that, something had to give, and I honestly think PBAL is where I'm going to end up drawing the line on that, because, I mean, it is what it is. If I don't have to upload for it, I am probably going to try to resist uploading for it. On that note, the next League of Extraordinary Trainer season is also starting up, and I don't think I'm going to be uploading for that one either this time around. Again, purely for the sake of my own mental health, to avoid trying to take on too many projects and burying myself, because if I was in a situation where I had more time on my hands, I could probably make it work, because I would have all the free time in the world to kind of dictate things myself. With me being back to work now and us not exactly getting all of our employees back once my workplace reopened after shutting down because of the current situation in the world, I've kind of been working a lot more than ever before, and it has been understandably leaving me quite drained in the process because my body's still trying to get used to the whole I'm back at work now thing on top of how much I have been working. So, however I can try to make this work for my own health, the better I think ultimately things are going to be. And if that does mean having to make a few sacrifices along the way in terms of the content for this channel, I apologize, but for my own sake, I would really rather make those sacrifices than try to push myself too hard and end up kind of putting myself not necessarily in a burnout state, probably something much worse than that, if you want me to be honest. So that's going to do it for this little update video. I didn't want to go too long, but I just wanted to address why things have kind of fallen apart for me in recent weeks in terms of being able to get uploaded for this channel, why there have been a few hiccups along the way, and now that I have everything back in working order, what I am planning to do on it. I guess if I wanted to add one last little thing to this video, I'm not going to make a promise on this yet because I still need to do a bit of testing to see if it is actually going to work out as intended. But with this new setup, to kind of help alleviate some of the internet issues in my house, I've not only gone ahead and invested in a Wi-Fi booster, which I don't know why my family hadn't done that in the first place, but I'm also able to kind of use the Wi-Fi booster as an Ethernet port, so I have an Ethernet cable plugged in now to ground my desktop a little more. So with any luck, fingers crossed, I'm going to be able to get back to streaming, or at least attempting to stream. If I do, I don't know how frequently I will do it, given everything else I have going on, but I still need to work things out, see exactly how it's going to operate under what I've got going on right now, but if it works out, I may be able to get back to streaming, and that might alleviate some of the pressure that I've been putting on myself as far as trying to get videos done for this channel. I could kind of use it as a pseudo live stream archive, I guess, again, just do live stream Let's Plays, maybe, kind of alleviate some of the pressure at the end of the day. So, with all that said, thank you guys so very much for watching, or I guess more listening to me ramble on. I have been RuppDat /Ruppy / however you guys want to refer to me. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.